Scat Crew, Scat Squad. Welcome to a special ASMR NBA discussion video. Today we are finalizing. Well, I wasn't sure about finalizing. I'll explain that in just a second. But we are going to be going through every game in round one. Now, originally, I was just going to have this be my original thoughts, where I just tell you my original thoughts. I might make a finalized prediction video on Monday after every team has had their first game of the round one series. But if I don't make a follow-up video about round one, this is my finalized prediction. But if I do, it'll probably be a face cam video on Monday, not another ASMR video. So stay tuned for Monday because I probably will drop it. But like I said, if not, these are my predictions. Alright, so Grizzlies Mavericks, it already ended. I had the Grizzlies. I did think the Mavericks had a chance with their big lineup, with all the depth they had at center. Too bad Derek Lively without Luka Doncic is absolutely trash. I looked on Twitter. Apparently people were comparing him to Giannis. I don't know what the hell y'all were on, but let's dive into the first matchup. Clippers Nuggets. Okay. I have, as of right now, I'm just gonna pretend that these are my finalized picks. As of right now, I got Clippers in 7. I got the Clippers in 7. I think this is one of the more vulnerable Nuggets team. I just don't think they have a lot of depth, or even if they have the depth, they don't use the depth. I know that was one issue Nuggets fans had with Malone, is that he wasn't using their younger players. I just think Kawhi is playing the best basketball he's played since the bubble, or since 2019. James Harden, I know he's had playoff struggles, but this is the best he's played probably in years. He made an all-star team. And I just think their Nuggets are going to be too dependent on Jokic for everything, and eventually he's going to get worn down and tired. Aaron Gordon has been pretty disappointing for most of the regular season. Russell Westbrook is inconsistent, and his lack of a perimeter jump shot is going to hurt the offense, especially in the half court, which is huge in the playoffs because a lot of the game slows down, and you're going to have to rely on your half court offense. And I have to be very quick with this because I do have work soon, so I probably am going to make the follow-up video because I can't do like a deep breakdown on each team. Every breakdown is going to be like a minute and a half in this video. Alright, so next we got Lakers, Timberwolves, Timberwolves. Okay, so at first I had Lakers in 6, then I had like Timberwolves in 7 or 6, and now I'm back at like Lakers at 7. So I'm just gonna say Lakers in 7 is my prediction. I think I'm gonna stick with that. I did have Anthony Edwards losing last year in the first round against the Suns, and you see how that went. And it's crazy because I'm one of the biggest Ant-Man supporters, but back-to-back playoffs, I'm saying he's going home in round 1. I hope I'm wrong again, but I just think the Lakers have too much depth, especially offensively. They have too much firepower. I can't trust the Timberwolves' second option. I don't even know who our second option is. I guess it's Julius Randle, and that's the thing. The Lakers have a for sure third option, and the Timberwolves don't even have a consistent second. So that is very concerning. I know the Timberwolves are considered the deeper team, but they don't have a lot of people who can create their own shot. A lot of them are reliant upon Anthony Edwards or Nas Reed or somebody getting dribble penetration and then kicking it back out. And like I said, just like with the series we just talked about, the half-court offense is going to be huge, and I'm not sure the Timberwolves can generate enough offense to beat the Lakers 4 times. Four times. So just like how I talked about the Nuggets and the Clippers, with the Nuggets having issues with Russell Westbrook, I feel like that type of thing, similar issue might pop up with the Timberwolves, especially when Anthony Edwards is not in the game. So I got Lakers in 7. I do think Anthony Edwards is gonna go berserk and average over 30 points per game. He'll look insane. Alright, so I got we're moving on to Oklahoma. I was about to give my prediction before I announced the series. Memphis versus OKC. I'm just gonna pick OKC in 5. I think Ja Morant, like Stephen A. Smith said about Allen Iverson going up against the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, I think Ja can get you 1. But I do think if the Memphis Grizzlies do want to stand a chance or to like push it to a 6 or 7 game series, I do think Jaren Jackson has to be the best player, not Ja Morant. So technically, it might be more pressure on Jaren Jackson because if he dominates the glass and he dominates the Shet matchup, and he's a enforcer in the paint, that just makes things a little bit harder for SGA. And it opens up things offensively for Ja Morant later in the game. So I'm gonna go with OKC in 5. But if the Grizzlies want to push it to 6 or 7 game series, I do believe Jaren Jackson needs to be the most impactful player and needs to be the most well-rounded player for the Grizzlies. Alright, let's take our talents over to Houston, man. Houston, they might have a problem. Because I have the Golden State winning this series in 7. You know what? I've watched enough basketball to know how this series goes when a championship experienced team with multiple superstars goes up against a young, star-studded, talented, defensive-minded team. Those series always end with a more experienced team winning in a tough-ass 6 or 7 game battles. Think about Golden State and the Kings, Golden State and the Grizzlies. That's just how it goes, man. I think there's gonna be, now I will say this, I think there's going to be an opportunity for the Rockets to win in Game 6 to win the series, and they won't do it, and Golden State is gonna win in 7. I just think the Warriors still have the 2 best players in the series when it matters most, in Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry. They also have the best defensive player, debatably. I know Amin Thompson is very good and has a lot of versatility defensively, but I'm still taking Draymond. The bench, I guess the Rockets do have a better bench, but I think the Warriors bench can do enough to keep the game close for when the starters come back in. But like I said, I think the Rockets are the better team overall, in terms of just from top to bottom. But I'm taking the superstar lineup, the experience, the championship caliber players that have been through it. They've seen every type of coverage, and jump shooting is important. Once again, half-court offense. The Rockets are not a good jump shooting team. Having a jump shot is huge. It is very important in the postseason. So yeah. Sorry, that concludes our Western Conference Round 1 predictions. Next, now the Pacers already whooped the Bucks' ass in Game 1. I did go on the record saying that Giannis would have a legendary run, and it may not be quite 2018 Bron, but it will at least be 2011 Bron. Not the part where he lost to the Mavericks, but like in the first, second, and third round. I think Giannis is going to be motivated by this blowout loss that he just suffered to the Pacers. Damian Lillard potentially is coming back. They said he should be back by Game 2 or 3. I'm going with the Bucks in 7, and the Pacers are the better team from top to bottom. They have a better offensive system. They are more versatile, more balanced. They have a better balance of youth and experience. But I just think Giannis is going to have a borderline, the prime LeBron type of series where he just does something we haven't seen in decades or years. And it's going to propel the Bucks over the Pacers in 7. Basically, what I'm saying is the Bucks are going to win a series that they're not supposed to, strictly because of Giannis. I know it's not looking good after that Pacers win today, but I think that is the type of loss that will make Giannis go berserker mode from now on, and I do think the Bucks will come back and win this series in 7. But yeah, the Pacers, and it's funny because the Pacers were actually my dark horse to win it all. So if they don't, well, not win it all, but to make it out of the East. So if the Pacers don't make it, if the Pacers do beat the Bucks somehow, they might make it to the conference finals, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, now moving on to Detroit, man. It's gonna be a physical ass battle, man. You got 2 rugged teams going up against each other, 2 physical teams. I got Knicks in 6, similar to the reasons why I have the Warriors over the Rockets. It's that I know the Knicks don't have championship DNA like the Warriors, but it's still an experienced team with two superstars going up against a scrappy, young, rising star-studded team that just doesn't know what the hell they're doing yet in the postseason. Now, I do think they can make it interesting and very spooky for the Knicks, so I'm giving them 2 games, and I can see a situation where this goes 7, and then anything can happen, but I'm going to go with the Knicks starting lineup and the talented starting lineup over the defensive depth and balance of the Detroit Pistons. But I think this is going to be a hell of a series. I think this is going to be an underrated series that people aren't going to pay attention to until the last 2 games or so, but I'm going to be watching it early, man. This is going to be a very, very good series. Cade Cunningham is going to do well. I don't think he's going to be a playoff dropper, but I think the people around him will not perform to the level to help him beat the Knicks. Alright, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to say Celtics in 5. I sound like Shannon Sharp talking about LeBron and them. But Banchero, I love Banchero. He's going to be in my top 5 players in a couple of years. Favorite players to watch in a couple of years. He's already one of my favorite players now. He's basically, if you took Knicks Carmelo and made him less creative, and then combined that with old man LeBron on the Lakers, and just lowered his IQ, that's basically Paulo Banchero. But yeah, they're just not good enough. They do have a good defense, and they can't shoot threes. Too bad they're like a nerfed, more ass version of us, because we're literally our top 2, our top 3 defensive team, and our top 2 or top 3 shooting team. So they're literally a worse version of us, with the worse head coach than us, with the worst superstar. But they don't even have a superstar yet. A rising, stupid superstar who's worse than ours. So yeah, I got Celtics in 5. Alright, and last but not least, in round 1. Okay, now, my gut was telling me that he can steal 2 wins, and it's going to be Cavs in 6. But my mind is telling me it's going to be a Cavs sweep. So I'm going to go in the middle and say Cavs in 5. I'm going to play it safe and say Cavs in 5s. I just think that the Cavaliers are one of the more balanced teams in the entire league. I actually think they have a chance to go to the finals. I did a bracket, and in one of my brackets, I had them in the finals, so I just don't think they will have enough, and they don't have a true superstar to lead them down in the 4th quarter. I mean, Tyler Hero's probably going to fill that void, but we haven't seen an approver closer for them in the postseason with no playoff Jimmy, so I do have Cleveland in 5, and I'm out.